the most important thing is really what you can't put down. I think, to simplify and almost use as an illustration, I think you must be always ready to admit exactly what artifice you're bringing into the storytelling. You must never get to the point where you start believing your own illusions, I think of the classic to me is this business that NBC News got caught up in a few years ago, where they went out to tell a very straightforward story about GM trucks, which were blowing up and burning in accidents. And they did a very straightforward professional approach to the subject and showed you the trucks and showed you the victims and showed you what happened. And then they went to a testing lab, and they showed you a truck running into something and blowing up. And they only made one mistake. They just skipped the fact that this was a test and this only happens one every 100 times to a truck. They just said, we ran this Chevy into a wall and look what happened. General Motors did not miss that. They didn't miss the, impression that the audience was given, that given this kind of truck, run it into a wall and it's going to blow up. And all they needed was one line, really, that said, and 1 in 100 times, this is what happens. They left it out. And it was all the difference in the world between, libel, scandalous, legal, serious trouble for them, and not. But it's so easy to go over the boundary of what's permissible. It would have to bend over backwards, I think, to come clean as often as possible. And, there's a good question if you get into reenactments these days, and I dropped it some time ago. The little thing at the bottom says reenactment. Somewhere in the titles and the credits, which nobody ever sees these days on network television, it says some scenes are reenactments or simulations, but all accurately represent real events. Is that enough? I don't know.
What do you think?
It is for me, but then my heart is pure. And I'm not telling anybody anything, and I'm really, at the worst, just amusing people. But it may not be right enough for the other guy.